Hi guys, welcome back to Right From Wrong. Yeah, you have to excuse my voice a little bit. I had a video I wanted to do about query letters. That one's still in the works. And then I lost my voice Saturday trying to talk over a loud jukebox, basically. But my voice is coming back, and I just noticed today is exactly 4 weeks from the day when I was laid off of my job. So I thought I would go into a quick video about what can writers do to utilize this time. And I'm sure a lot of artists or writers have imagined, what if I could just stay home and do what I love. And I'm here to tell you briefly some of the good, the bad, and the ugly about what that life looks like after 1 month. So first I wanted to talk about the, expectations. I think a lot of us that have, 9 to 5s or more, work multiple jobs, have kids, families, a lot of responsibilities other than our artwork and our writing. We imagine, gosh, if I only had so much time, some more time, I could get so much more done. So first I want to go over the quick expectations of what I thought having this time off would mean for me. I wanted to write more, obviously. Right now, I think the fastest script I've ever written was in about 4 months to have a good draft. I wanted to get those numbers up. I've been working at that for a couple years actually now, but historically it takes me about 4 months solid work to, work on it part-time and get a good draft finished. Other expectations were I would have more time to research managers, production companies, not so much agents. I don't really do that too much. But yeah, managers, production companies, just reaching out to people, trying to make connections, networking, that things that I can't really do at work most of the time. Other expectations were just being around for my family more. We've had some weather and stuff lately that have cut into school time. There's been days where we had to either work from home or, distance learning, stuff like that. And I just wanted to be available. So those were the main three things. But also personally, it would give me more time to work on myself as far as exercising, being less stuck to a desk. So I'd say those are the four main things that I was looking forward to having time. So how did that turn out after 28 days? Okay, so the first expectation was having more time to write. And on a positive note, I've had more time to write, and I've utilized it pretty well. Some days are better than others, obviously, but I've tried to be productive pretty much every day. And if I've been productive during the week, I try not to focus as much on it on the weekend, give my mind a break. If I don't get as much done during the week, I tend to, try to double down on the weekends and make up for it. But where I'm sitting at now, after 4 exact weeks, almost to the minute that I found out, I have almost completed a complete draft in 4 weeks. For me, that's amazing. I know there's probably some professionals out there or some amateurs that have just got their system down and can knock out, faster than that. But for me, this is, lightning fast, and I'm happy with the results so far. Every draft is going to need a rewrite, obviously, but I'm really happy with the quality. I didn't skip a lot of parts just to get to the next part. I did a couple times, but then I went back pretty soon after. So, I'm pretty much to Act 3 right now, and I hope to have that done this weekend. My Act 3s tend to close up pretty quickly. So yeah, within 30 days, 31 days, a month essentially, I will be done a complete draft, and I'm extremely happy with that. I've had a little bit of time to delve into other projects, but not much. I've really been just trying to knock this one out and just see how fast I could do it, and I've been pretty happy with the results. So on that end, being home all day, or most days, yeah, I get a lot more writing done. My second expectation, it was the writing and researching production companies, managers, just networking, reaching out to people that I've already met, that I've already made connections with, just seeing where they're at, letting them know where I'm at, researching contests, seeing which ones are good, who's, the judges or the expected judges. I'm not huge on contests. I do enter a few usually every year just to, see where I rank in the grand scheme of things. Last year was a great experience with the Austin Film Festival. I've had quarterfinalist in Scriptapalooza before, and a few other minor things, which I'm still proud of. You know, you're still competing with a lot of talented people, but I just don't think the money is always worth it. But I do research some that are good ones. And on that end, I started off very strong. In the first 2 days, I actually got two responses back, one from a manager and one from a production company. I have also made contacts with a production company, a small one, um, but there is a project possibly in the works that I might be able to write for, and it's extremely low budget. It is not going to pay my mortgage, um, but for the amount of time, I think I'm going to do it and see what happens. It might be end up being my first credit produced, and it sounds like a fun project. So that's something I don't know if I would have got that opportunity had I not been reaching out, had I not been free. If I was sitting at my desk at work, I don't know if I would have been able to see or find that position that was available. So yeah, in the first couple days, I had like three hits, quick responses, good communication for the most part. And in the 3 weeks since, it has been radio silence. So it is up and down. I mean, in the first 2 days, I was so excited. I was like, this is it. This is I've got my time. I'm writing. I'm getting responses. Like, is this what it feels like to be a professional? And then nothing. I've been sending out, I've still been sending out emails, query letters, researching people that I think would be specifically interested in my projects, not just mass sending emails. And I've had nothing since, no response, not even a rejection. So it does go up and down. But you never know. Like something I sent out 3 weeks ago, I might hear from 3 months from now. My third reason for wanting to be a stay-at-home writer, let me get a drink of water real quick. It was just being there for my family. I live really close to my daughter's school, and I work. I mean, I worked relatively close, but not that close. So whenever there was an issue, it was always a problem getting off work, getting there. You know, if she was ill or something, or if they closed schools. This has enabled us not to have, you know, childcare costs, things like that. Less costs for transportation, you know, gas, Ubers, things like that. So that part has been a huge plus. It doesn't quite make up for the loss of my income, but it is a plus. It's not a total negative. And I have been there for my family. We had the snow recently. I'm sure some of you were affected. They closed schools for almost a week. Then they worked, you know, from home, remote distance learning or whatever for a couple days. And it was huge to be able to have me home. So that was great. As she goes back to school, and hopefully the weather stays good, it'll be less utilized, less of a positive, but I'm still around. I'm still around if other family members need, you know, transportation or assistance. I can take care of things around the house, and so my wife doesn't have to worry about it, since she's basically the main breadwinner now. Kind of take that off her plate if I can. But yeah, I mean, it's been a plus, but it doesn't make up for the lack of income. So not everybody can do it, obviously, and I can't do it long term, but I can do it now, and it's great. It's great being there for my family, and I appreciate the opportunity. And the fourth expectation was about myself. You know, physically healthy, mental health. Some of you that may know me know that I've had issues with depression and mostly anxiety most of my life, and work, whether rightfully or wrongfully so, has been a big part of my anxiety, and that dread that you come to get sometimes like the night before or whatever, and you're just like, I would rather be doing anything else right now than this. Even though that job may not be horrible. I mean, my last job, I actually liked it. I liked the people I was working with. I liked what I did. It wasn't far from home. And I still had that dread, and like I should be doing something else with my life. And I haven't got that feeling since I've been home, you know, and I know it sounds, you know, maybe lazy or whatever, but by not having that dread, it has improved my outlook on things. I try to be a little bit more, you know, there and aware and happy for my family. So on that end, I would say it's a plus. There are some negatives to being home all the time, and it seems like they'd be positives at first. You think, unless you're a very disciplined person, which I go in and out of discipline, which I guess is kind of the definition of not being disciplined. But I did start an exercise routine. I did start, doing things around the house. But when you're the only one there, it is easy to let yourself slip a little bit. I have. Um, but it comes and goes. I mean, if I don't vacuum one day, is it the end of the world? No. And I got to not beat myself up over that, because that's the same mindset that got me into that anxiety and that depression at work. And then I don't want to bring that, to home. But it just goes into that discipline situation as a writer, as anything. You've got to have that discipline in yourself, that drive, the motivation to finish what you start and to start what you want to do. And I think a lot of people don't start what they want to do, and the ones that do start don't always finish. And there's lessons that can only be learned by finishing, but that's a whole nother talk. But basically, to sum up the mental and physical health, I've actually gained a pound, so I can't say that I've had a huge success with that. But it's up and down, mental and physical. I mean, there's different challenges, but there's different opportunities. I've got all the time in the world. If I want to go for a walk, if I want to lift weights, if I want to do whatever. And as the weather gets better, we'll be doing more stuff outside. So I'm not too concerned about it yet, but it is not the magic pill that I thought was going to be, well, I'm going to stay home, I'm going to work out all day, I'm going to be 105 pounds. No, that's not realistic. Okay, so I'm going to make this video short. I'm just going to sum it up right now. In conclusion, the positives: I do have the time to write, and I love it. I love writing. I love thinking about writing. I love reading and writing, about writing. I love making these videos about writing, and I hope someone else gets some value out of it. So yeah, every moment I spent dedicated to this I'm so thankful for, and that I have this opportunity, because I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people have to work a full-time job, overtime, 2 jobs, most of their lives, if not their entire life, and never get that chance to really embrace that, the art or whatever they would love. And I have this opportunity. I don't know how long it's going to last. It could be a few more weeks. It could be a few more months. I don't know. But I've been thankful for this last month that I've got to spend time with, my family, my writing, and just being able to reach out to people and make connections again, even if they don't respond. It's nice to have that opportunity to do that research, and just knowing that I'm making the effort. Nothing may come out of it, but I'm making the effort. I try. And then when this is over, for good, better or worse, I can say I tried, and that's the biggest positive. The biggest negative, obviously, is no income coming in. As of yet, it's been a month. I haven't sold anything. I didn't expect to sell anything immediately, but I haven't sold anything. No real huge leads, except maybe that ultra micro budget project I can't talk about, just in case I end up working on it. But it's a positive. I have reached out and initially got a couple connections that might lead to something in the future. But at this point, yeah, the negatives are what you would expect, the money. And that's hard even for working or amateur writers, is, getting paid enough to live off of. I'm thankful I have a wife that can hold down the fort for these, whatever amount of time this is. But it's not easy knowing that you're not bringing money in, and sometimes the writing feels like a luxury, because in a way it kind of is, but it shouldn't be. I don't think it should be. Art's huge. Everybody uses it. Every commercial you see. And I think that's what's going to hurt the most. Again, I don't want to bring up AI, but I think AI is going to take a lot of those opportunities away from the, the day workers who might make a commercial here or there, or a video here or there. I think that's going to hurt them more than people like me. But yeah, so that's basically it. And I guess the mediocre, positive, negative, 6, 7, as the kids are saying, they probably already stopped saying it, is just that you get these big expectations of what you're going to do or what's holding you back. And for a lot of us, it's time. And the realism is, it's not probably as big an obstacle as you think. And obviously everybody's situation is different. Money is a huge obstacle. Time is a huge obstacle. But I've got all the time in the world right now, essentially. I mean, I could be writing 24/7 if I wanted. I could be working on projects 24/7. But the realism is you need to eat, you need to sleep, you got family, you got friends, you got responsibilities, and you can't do 24/7. You just can't. And even if you write so much and get so much more done, like I have, and it's been great, um, there's no saying that that project is going to go anywhere. So it is a positive and a negative, and you just have to base it based on what your expectations are and what your personal specific situation is. Um, so yeah, there's positives, negatives, and yet to be seens. So my verdict on quitting your job and working, at your art from home or from a studio or whatever, I would say don't do it. I mean, everybody's got to do it with their own personal, situation. Everybody's got to make that decision for themselves and with their families and anybody that's, depending on you. I'm very grateful that I'm in the situation I am at the moment where I can do this. Um, but it's not going to make everything better. It's not a magic pill or a golden brick road that's going to take you to Oz. I find that, yes, I'm writing probably 4 times faster than I was before, which is great. I'll get 4 times as many scripts done, I hope, 4 times as much writing done, which is great. But until that has a monetary value, and I hate to put, monetary value on art, it's easier and less expectation to do it part-time. I could still be writing and working full-time. I was. I can do it again. I will do it again. So if you're on the verge of saying, I want to, I could get so much done, I'm going to quit my job and just, be a painter or I'm not telling you not to, but just know your risks. Know that the rewards are not going to be instant. You can be building up to that while you're still working. Maybe find a job, that's closer to what you like, or a part-time job so you have more time to do the things that you want to do. But yeah, it is great, but it is not going to solve all your problems. It will give you maybe more opportunities. It's kind of like how I would imagine living in LA or even New York maybe would give you more opportunities just from being there and just meeting people. It's like buying more lottery tickets. Yeah, you're going to have a better chance of something good happening, but the chances are still not worth risking, your stability, your family's financial, capabilities, your family's, closeness. You don't want to get obsessive with your work to the point where you're suffering or they're suffering because you're not around. But that's a bit of an extreme, maybe. I hope nobody's dealing with those issues. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I'm going to keep doing this as long as I'm unemployed. So, or until I get my big break. So if anybody sees this and wants to give a poor writer a break, here I am. Seriously though, thanks for listening. Hope you learned something. Hope my experience can at least give information for someone else to make a educated decision. I wouldn't do it unless you've got, I wouldn't say a backup plan, but that you've got a safety net, whether it's a loved one, a spouse, or you can live with your parents. Trust me, if I was single, it would be, and no kids, I would consider it, honestly. Get to follow your dreams, to do what you want to do, to have, and to be close to your family, because don't take that for granted. Your family can be a huge asset, just in your emotional health, hopefully. But that's all I got today. I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully my next video, I'm hoping, will be about query letters. I know I touched on it in my last video, and I want to touch on it again with a little more specifics about what, how I tend to get responses. I said my response rate is usually a little higher than what I've heard the average is. That is still true, but maybe not as true, as I've been sending out a lot of query letters in these last 4 weeks. But yeah, I hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.